Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this score booster series that we are having at PrepLadder, guys. And today we shall be looking at some biostats MCQ. Okay, now biostats is a very, sometimes it's like a very challenging topic as well for students who are appearing either for NEET PG or for students who are appearing either for FMGE, even for INI-CET. Okay, so this rank booster series, the super rank booster series, has been framed particularly for FMGs as well as NEET PG 2025. So what I'm going to do is, today in the session of biostats, I'm just going to quickly revise with you biostats with the help of certain MCQs. Okay, all right. No, there's no part. It's the first part only, biostats. Okay, all right. Okay, it's the first part, which is biostats. All right. So without going into too much detail about this thing, let's start revising biostats. Now all of you know that biostats deals with a little bit of statistics. Okay, but it's not little bit, it's quite a decent amount of statistics in the field of medicine. Okay, so now what we have to do is that whenever you take up biostats, okay, there are different topics like types of variables, measures of central tendencies, okay, scales of measurements, types of distribution. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover each of the topic with the help of the MCQ. The session is going to be 1 hour 10 minutes long, okay, where we'll be wrapping up biostats with the help of MCQs. Okay, so are you all ready, everyone? Shall we start? Okay, so let's have a look at the first MCQ. Just look at this and then we're going to discuss all about it. So the first question is, pulse rate is, what is pulse rate? A nominal data, continuous data, discrete data, random variable. What are you going to mark over here? Pulse rate is nominal data, continuous data, discrete data, random variable. Once you give me the answer what is pulse rate, then I will discuss this topic with the first topic, which is types of variables. Okay, so what is your answer over here? So someone is saying nominal data, Dr. MBBS. Anybody else who's come up with an answer? Okay, Sunir is saying B, Dr. Reddy is saying A, Chaitanya is saying B, Anshika is saying B. So what is the first topic that we have to take up in biostats? Okay, so the first topic that we take up in biostat, guys, is types of variables. Okay, let me revise types of variables here and then we will discuss about it. Okay, I'll discuss about this question. So quick revision of the types of variables. The first classification of types of variables kya hota hai, guys? Quantitative variables, qualitative variables. Okay, quantitative variables, qualitative variables. Now what are quantitative variables? Quantitative variables kya hota hai? Variables that can be measured. Okay, quantitative variables that can be measured. Okay, that can be measured. They can be compared. Okay, measured and compared. Qualitative variables matlab cannot be measured. Okay, cannot be measured, cannot be measured and cannot be compared. Okay, cannot be measured, cannot be compared. Okay, cannot be measured, cannot be compared. Now what do I mean by measured and cannot be measured? Very simple rule you have to follow, guys. The very basic rule is, whenever I say a variable can be measured, it means that does it have a unit or not. Measured means it has a unit or not. If you see that any variable has a unit, it automatically means it is a quantitative variable. Okay, if it doesn't have a unit, it is a qualitative variable. Okay, now let me give you an example. Like if you say weight, weight ka unit hai, bilkul hai. What is the unit of weight, guys? Kilogram, grams. Okay, plus can you compare weight? Yes, I can compare my weight with your weight. You can compare your weight with somebody else's weight. Okay, but if I say, let's say gender, if I say, let's say religion, okay, if I say gender, if I say, if I say religion, okay, if I say gender, if I say religion, if I say blood group, all right, blood group, is this, does it have a unit, everybody? Does it have a unit? No, there is no unit for gender, there is no unit for blood group. Okay, it cannot be measured, but you can say, ma'am, we can count how many students belong to blood group A. So please remember, qualitative is countable, not measurable. Clear? That's the first difference that you should know. Whenever you get any variable, the first thing that you have to ask yourself, guys, is it measurable or not? Measurable means does it have a unit or not? Okay, so the first one is quantitative and qualitative. What is the second classification of variables? The second classification of variables is continuous, okay, continuous and discrete. Okay, continuous and discrete. Now what do you mean by continuous data? What do you mean by continuous data? Anybody? Continuous का मतलब क्या होता है? कंटिन्यूस का मतलब होता है लगातार, इन हिंदी वी से लगातार, और कंटिन्यूस मीन्स दैट वेरिएबल्स दैट कैन टेक अप मेनी पॉसिबल वैल्यूज, ओके, कैन टेक अप मेनी पॉसिबल वैल्यूज, कैन टेक अप मेनी पॉसिबल वैल्यूज, ओके, वेरिएबल्स दैट कैन टेक अप many possible values and also in between values, okay, and also in between values. What do I mean by that? It simply means that you can express it in decimals. आप उसको किस में express कर सकते हो? Decimals में. But discrete variables means variables that can take up fewer values, can take up fewer values and no in between values, okay, and no in between values. Got it, everybody? So moral of the story is, please remember, all the quantitative variables, okay, all the quantitative variables are going to be continuous, all right, and all the qualitative variables are going to be what? All the qualitative variables are going to be discrete, okay, all the qualitative variables are going to be discrete. Clear, everybody? ठीक है. So, अगर मैंने वेरिएबल बोला वेट, अगर मैंने बोला हाइट, नाउ वेट, हाइट, ऑल ऑफ देम वर क्वांटिटेटिव, सो ऑटोमेटिकली दे आर कंटिन्यूअस. यू कैन एक्सप्रेस इट इन डेसिमल्स, जैसे वेट कुड बी 20.1, 30.1, so you can express it in decimals, okay. Discrete, if I say religion, gender, blood group, okay, can you express it in decimals? No. Religion, blood group, all these are what? Discrete variables. Clear? Everyone, did you understand? ठीक है, द फर्स्ट क्लासिफिकेशन, वेरी गुड. ऑलराइट, नाउ लिसन वन मोर थिंग, कि जितने भी वेरिएबल्स होते हैं ना, वील डू वन मोर टॉपिक ओवर हियर, देन गो टू दैट एमसीक्यू. वॉट एवर वेरिएबल्स यू हैव, यू कैन मेजर इट ऑन डिफरेंट स्केल्स, ओके. सो यू हैव डिफरेंट स्केल्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट फॉर द वेरिएबल्स, ओके. सो कैन एनीवन टेल मी व्हाट आर द स्केल्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट फॉर द वेरिएबल्स? क्विक रिविजन बताओ. स्केल्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट, quantitative variables are measured on which scale and qualitative variables are measured on which scale? Anyone in the class? Scales of measurement, okay. So you have something which is known as scales of measurement. So what are these two scales of measurement? Anybody? Scales of measurement क्या है? So you have to make a broader classification over here. One is categorical scale of measurement, okay. And what is the other one? Very good, guys. Very good, Ambika. One is categorical scale of measurement and the other one, guys, is dimensional or metric scale. Metric scale. Now, remember one thing. All quantitative variables, ठीक है, जितने quantitative, and now I assume you can figure out how to differentiate between a quantitative and qualitative variable, okay. So all quantitative variables, ठीक है, all quantitative variables are going to be measured in what? All quantitative variables will be measured in dimensional or metric scale, okay. And all qualitative variables, okay, all qualitative variables will be measured in which scale? Categorical scale. Categorical is further divided into two, which is nominal and ordinal, okay, which is nominal and ordinal. Clear? Nominal and ordinal, okay. Now dimensional और metric scale का दो example होता है that you should know. Interval and ratio scale, okay, interval and ratio scale. Which is that one quantitative variable which can be measured in interval scale? Anybody in the class? Can you write it in the comment section? Name the quantitative variable which you can measure in interval scale, guys. एक quantitative variable बताओ जो आप interval scale में measure कर सकते हो. So the quantitative variable which can be measured in interval scale, everybody. Very good. Mudit has written Kelvin. So basically it is temperature scale. Very good. It is which one, guys? It is temperature scale, okay. And rest all the other variables, okay, rest all the other variables you can measure in which scale? Ratio scales. Rest all other quantitative variables, height हो गया, weight हो गया. Interval scales में there is no absolute zero, okay, the value can go below zero also. Ratio scales में it is always above zero, okay. So ratio scales has an absolute zero, okay. So all the other variables, quantitative variables, you can measure in which scale? Ratio scale. Clear? ओके. नाउ नॉमिनल एंड ऑर्डिनल, विच एवर क्वालिटेटिव वेरिएबल को आप ऑर्डर में लगा सकते हो, रैंक दे सकते हो, ओके, दैट इज कैटेगोरिकल स्केल. लाइक Tell me an example like staging of cancer. Okay, staging of cancer. Okay, like you have staging of cancer, or you have Glasgow coma score, or you have Apgar score. Okay, Apgar score, or you have Likert score, or you have severity of anemia, grading of hypertension. Isko up, you can put it in an order, you can put it in a rank, so that is ordinal scale. Whichever variable you cannot put, qualitative variable जिसको आप एक rank में नहीं डाल सकते, you cannot put in a rank, is which one? Nominal scale. Got it? Nominal scale like gender. Can you rank gender? No. Can you rank religion? No. Can you rank type of delivery? No. Can you rank blood group everybody? No. So those are all nominal scales. Clear? Everybody? Okay, so this was the first topic that we have revised, two topics, types of variables and scales of measurement. Clear? Now let's go back to the MCQ and have a look at it. Okay, look at the question over here. I gave you the question pulse rate is. Now whenever you get a variable, okay, the first thing that you have to ask yourself, always ask yourself, does it have a unit or not? क्या इसका एक unit है, क्या इसका एक unit नहीं है? तो pulse rate का unit hai. Does pulse rate have a unit? Of course pulse rate has a unit. What is the unit of pulse rate everybody? What is the unit of pulse rate everybody? You all know pulse rate, like somebody could have 80 beats per minute, 78 beats per minute, okay, 90 beats per minute. So we know that it has a unit. So since it has a unit, it is quantitative, okay. If it is quantitative, it is also continuous, okay, it is also continuous. Is it clear? It is also continuous. And since it's a quantitative or continuous variables, it will be measured in which scale? A ratio scale. So what is the answer over here? Continuous data, okay, it will be measured in which scale? A ratio scale. ठीक है? Also guys, आप बोल सकते हो मैम pulse rate in decimals, how is it possible? So it is possible guys. See, if I ask you, listen, tell me your pulse rate for 2 minutes. You tell me, ma'am, it's 165 in 2 minutes. 165 beats in 2 minutes. Okay. So what is the pulse rate in 1 minute everybody? It's going to come out 82.5. So decimal mein aa gaya na. It's just the limitation of human brain that we can't express it in decimals. Clear? Everybody, did you understand this? Okay. BP also continuous. Yes, you can express it in decimals. So definitely blood pressure is also continuous variables. कोई भी variable जिसका unit होगा ना, you all you need to do is ask yourself, does it have a unit? Does it not have a unit? If it has a unit, it is a continuous variables. It is a quantitative variable. Clear? Okay. Okay. Let me give you one more question for the day. All right. Let's see if you can mark this. A study was conducted in America to find out the proportion of blacks and white Americans in California. Now, what is the variable chosen here? Anybody? What is the variable chosen here? Nominal, ordinal, continuous, discrete numerical, dichotomous. Chalo, let's see what you're going to mark over here. Think and mark everybody. Think and mark. Think and mark. Take your time. प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ ब्लैक्स एंड वाइट अमेरिकन. सबसे पहले तो मेरे को ये बताओ गाइस कि ये quantitative है या qualitative है? Is this variable that I'm talking about, black Americans and white Americans, the type, the based on the color, okay, now is it quantitative or qualitative? Does it have a unit? Can you measure this? No, you can count, you can express in percentage, okay, like how many people are black Americans and what is the percentage of white Americans, okay. So definitely this is a qualitative variable that I'm talking about, okay, qualitative variables. Now qualitative variable means which type of variables everybody? It is discrete variable, okay, it is discrete variable. Now of course there is no, you can't put a rank over here, okay, so it will be measured on a nominal scale. It is measurable on a nominal scale. But here I am asking you that what is this variable? So I am asking you the classification of variable. Do you have qualitative in the option? No. Do you have discrete in the option? No. What is the third type of classification of variables? Anybody? What is the third type? जो अभी हमने discuss नहीं किया. What is the third type of classification of variables? One is quantitative, qualitative. One is continuous, discrete. And what is the third type of classification of variables? The third type of classification of variable is dichotomous or polyotomous. Okay, dichotomous or polyotomous. Di means any variable. Very good, Dr. S. Kumar. Very good, Dr. Soni. Now, any variable which can take up two values is what? Dichotomous. Any variable which can take up more than two values, everybody, wo kya hai? Polyotomous. So, here I have not asked you the scale of measurement. Since I have another option, dichotomous in the option, I will go for that. ठीक है, dichotomous is a better answer over here. Discrete numerical doesn't make any term and it doesn't make any significant term. All right, it is a type of discrete variable, agreed. Okay, it is a type of qualitative variable, agreed. Better answer over here would be dichotomous because it can be expressed in two, it can take up two values. Either somebody is a black American, either somebody is a white American. Clear everybody? If they asked you with scale of measurement, कौन से scale of measurement? So what is the scale of measurement? Of course, the scale of measurement, everybody, is nominal scale because you can't rank. ठीक है, आप इसको rank नहीं कर सकते. There's no ranking involved over here. Clear? Give me a thumbs up, everybody. Clear with the first two topics of the day we have revised. Types of variables done. Also, we have done about the scales of measurement. Okay. Now, let me give you another question for the day. All right. Median of the following data is. Can you calculate the median of the following data? All the topics we will cover of biostats with the help of one or two MCQs, okay, so that it gets into your head because biostat is something that comes in NEET PG, that comes in FMGE exams, also in INI-CET, also in UPSC, ठीक है? Okay, so what are you writing over here? Some are writing C, some are writing B, Q, Q, Q. What is this median? Median क्या होता है guys? What is median? Median is a measure of dispersion or it's a measure of central tendency, everybody. Median is what? Median is a measure of central tendency. Okay, now you all know central tendency के तीन measures होते हैं. What is the meaning of central value? That value which is most representative of any data set. Okay, and when I talk about median, okay, that value which is most representative of any data set. Okay, now when I talk about median, median is what? Middle value. Okay, median is what? Middle value. Middle value when data is arranged in which order? Middle value when data is arranged in ascending/descending order. Okay, it is arranged in ascending or you could also say descending order. Okay, ascending or descending order. कभी मत भूलना, never forget to arrange in ascending or descending. Now, good part over here is that I've already given you an ascending order. Okay. So, now what are the, how many values do you have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, what is it? N is equal to 8. 8 means I have even number of observation. Okay. Even number of observations है मेरे पास. क्या है? Even number of observations. Okay. Now, if I have even number of observations, guys, which one is the middle value? Now over here you can see that there are 3 values above, also there are 3 values before, lower down. Okay, so what are the two middle values? 6 and 8. So whenever you will have even number of observations, your median is going to be what, guys? Average of the two middle values. Did you do that, everybody? Average of the two middle values. ठीक है, very good Shubham, very good Dr. MBBS, everybody, very good. ठीक है, so average of the two middle values. So average में क्या हो जाएगा? 6 plus 8 divided by 2. Yes, so that is how much? 14 by 2. That is equal to 7. That is equal to 7. Okay, please remember this. Whenever you have even number of observations, what is your median? It is the average of the two middle values. And whenever you're going to have odd number of observations, what is your median? Let me write it here. Whenever we have odd number of observations, जैसे let me ask you a question. Calculate the median of 21312. What is the median of this data set? Everybody in the comment section, लिखो. Calculate the median for this data set. इसका median. Let's calculate the median of this data set. Can you calculate the median of this data set? 21312. What is the median? What is the median? Think everybody, think, never be in a rush, never be in a rush. It is the middle value when data is arranged in ascending order or descending order. Have you arranged in ascending order? Ki aapne straight away you are saying ma'am 3? No. Did you arrange in ascending order, guys? Let's arrange in ascending order. 1 1 2 2 3. Now what is your median over here? This middle value is your median. So what is your median over here? 2. This is a type of question you cannot afford to make a mistake. Are you understanding? ठीक है? Never forget to arrange in ascending or descending order. And for your ease, I would always suggest to arrange in ascending order. ठीक है? So moral of the story. Listen once. ठीक है? Moral of the story is whenever you have to calculate the median, look at the number of observations. If you have odd number of observations, it is the middle value. If you have even number of observations, it is the average of the two middle values. But in both the cases, you have to arrange your data in ascending or descending order. ठीक है? Clear? 10th class maths. Very good. Yes. But गलत नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है? Okay. One more thing. Quickly बताओ. 21312 का mean बताओ. Calculate the mean everybody for this data set. 21312. What is the mean for this data set? 21312. What is the mean? Now you all know that how do we calculate the mean everybody? What is the mean, guys? The mean is equal to sum of all observations divided by the total number of observations. So what will you do? 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 divided by total number, that is 5. Okay, so what is it going to come? 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Very good. 9 upon 5, which will be equal to 4.5. Clear? Okay, mean. Now, can you also tell me the mode for this data set? Can you also tell me what is the mode for this data set? What is the meaning of mode, guys? Mode का मतलब क्या होता है? What is mode? Mode is the most frequently occurring in a value in a data set. Okay, mode is what? Most repeated value in a data set. Okay, most repeated value in a data set. सबसे जो बार बार आ रहा है, most repeated value in a data set or most frequently occurring value in a data set. So what is the mode over here? What is the mode over here? Which values are the most frequently repeated, guys? 1 and 2 both. Okay. So what is it? Bimodal. If you have to give a single value for mode, you will take the average of the two values. ठीक है? सबसे ज़्यादा repeat कौन से values हो रहे हैं? Which one is the most repeated value? Don't just say ma'am 1 or 2. No. 1 and 2. Both is most often repeated. So what is the mode over here? 1 and 2. Okay, both. But in exam, you see a single value as the answer. So that means what you have to do? You have to take out the average. So that will be 2 plus 1 by 2. So that will be 1.5. Clear? Everybody got it? Mean, median, mode revision done. अब एक और MCQ. Let's do one more MCQ. Okay, let's see if you can do this one. Alright, let's see if you can do this one, guys. Let's see if you can do this one, everybody. Chalo. In a survey of sleep apnea scores among 10 persons, the highest value of 58 was wrongly recorded as 85. Alright, this will affect the final result as anybody. The highest value of 58 was wrongly recorded as, yeah, so that's what we wrote, no? Where did we write 9 by 5? Yeah, so that's okay. Sorry, yeah, that is 1.8. That is 1.8. Yes, 9 by 5, that is 1.8. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, 1.8. Yes. All right. Now tell me what is the answer to that? What is the answer to that? Thank you, Pranay. Yeah, so that just is, don't do that mistake. Okay, 9 by 5 is 1.8. Okay, now what is the answer to this, everybody? Chalo batao. In a survey of sleep apnea scores among 10 persons, okay, the highest value of 58 was wrongly recorded as 85. Now, what is going to happen over here? Now, you all know this is a very good question, guys. This is something that you can expect in your exams, okay. Now, if I ask you, tell me, the mean for this data set. Now, if you have to calculate the mean for this data set, guys, तुम कैसे करोगे? What will happen to the mean? Now, mean is what? sum of all observations. Okay, mean is sum of all observations. Okay, mean is sum of all observations divided by the total number of observations. Okay, divided by the total number of observations. ठीक है, mean is sum of all observations divided by the total number of observations. Now, if I ask you कि इसका mean बताओ, so you will add up. There are 10 people, so you have 10 values. So you will be adding plus, plus, plus. Now you had to add up 58, but you will add up what? 85. Okay, plus, plus, plus. So divided by 10. So when you had to add up 58, instead of that you added up 85. What is going to happen to your numerator, guys? It will increase. Yes. Now, if your numerator increases everybody, what is going to happen to the mean, everyone? Numerator बढ़ गया, mean will also increase. You will get an exaggerated mean. Are you understanding? Very good. But now let us see median कैलकुलेट करते हैं, median कैलकुलेट करते हैं. So median is what? The middle value when the data is arranged in ascending order. So I will be arranging in ascending order, ascending order, ascending order. Now whichever 58 I had to take, that was the highest value. So 58 would have gone at the corner. Do you agree? 58 एक corner में चला जाता, ठीक है. Now even if I've recorded it as 85, it's still the highest value. So 85 will also be at the corner. And where is the median? Median तो यहाँ पे गई, middle value. Okay, so did median get affected over here? No. Median did not get affected over here. Alright, so what is happening over here? We are having an increased mean, but there is absolutely no change in the median. Are you understanding? We have an increased mean, but क्या median यहाँ पे बदला है? No, there is no change in the median, everybody. Clear? Did you understand this? ठीक है. So यहाँ से दो चीज और निकलती है, guys. Two statements that I wanted to discuss with you before I go to the next MCQ. Alright. See, Ambika, look over here once, dear. What is mean, Ambika? Sum of all observation divided by the total number of observations. ठीक है, Ambika? So, if you are going to add up the 10 values, Ambika, you were supposed to add up 58. Now, what are you adding up, Ambika? 85. So, your numerator will increase, right? And mean will be exaggerated, increased आएगा. But when I say calculate median, median middle value होता है when data is arranged in ascending order. So 58 will go at the end. Now even if you've written 58 as 85, it's still at the end, Ambika. So median is somewhere in the middle only, which didn't get affected. Now did you get it? Okay. Also one more point, guys. If I ask you a rapid one-liner question, ठीक है? Statistically, tell me the answer to this. Statistically, the best measure of central tendency is anybody. Statistically, what is the best measure of central tendency? Mean, median या mode? Statistically, सबसे अच्छा measure of central tendency क्या है? Mean. Why? Because it includes sum of all observations. You are not leaving out any observations. Okay, it includes what? Sum of all observations. We are not leaving out any observation. We are going to add up everything. Okay, so statistically the best measure of central tendency is mean. But if I have outliers in my data set, okay, now what is the meaning of outliers, everybody? Outliers means too high or too low value in a data set. Okay, too high or too low values in a data set. All right, so whenever you have too high or too low values in a data set, okay, what happens over here? It makes my data skewed. Alright, and what is the best measure of central tendency in a skewed data set, everybody? What is the best measure of central tendency here? Best measure of central tendency for a skewed data set is always median. Okay, it is always median, because median is going to be the middle value. Up too high or too low values will go towards one extreme. So, of course, the middle value will not get affected. And which measure of central tendency gets most affected in a skewed data set? Which measure of central tendency? Skewed data set में सबसे ज़्यादा affect कौन होता है? Skewed data set में, guys, which is the one which is most affected? So, skewed data set में most affected everybody is the mean. Are you understanding? Skewed data set mein which will be most affected, guys? Most affected is going to be mean. Did you all understand this? Did you all understand? Okay. Statistically, best measure of central tendency is mean. Sum of all observations include karta hai. But if you talk about outliers which tend to make your data skewed, too high or too low values, जैसे उस केस में था in the last MCQ it was, okay. So if you have a skewed data set, what is your best measure of central tendency? Median. Got it? Thumbs up though. Everybody, did you understand? Give me a thumbs up if you got this funda correct in your head, okay. All right, let me give you one more question. Think and ask. This is a think and answer, I mean. Okay, this is slightly this one. Okay, this is slightly this thing. Okay, all right. An investigator gets a positively skewed data on account of having a small number of simple numerical observations. Okay, simple numerical observations at extremely high value. Think and mark karo. It will give an overestimate of. Okay, I'm getting some answers. All right, Mrinali is saying B, Chaitanya is saying median. Median कौन सा B option है? Okay. Some are saying B, most of them are saying B. Okay. Now see guys, there was a very big hint. Always look for buzzwords. Extremely high values. Now I've taught you. Extremely high values or extremely low values. What do you call them? Extremely high or extremely low values. That means I have outliers in my data set. Yes. So when I'm going to have outliers in my data set, it is going to make my data what? Skewed. Yes. When I have a skewed data set, all right, when I have a skewed data set, all right, when I have a skewed data set, what is going to get affected for a skewed data set? क्या affect होता है? Mean या median? बताओ. Skewed. Question क्या पूछा? What did it say? An investigator gets a positively skewed data on account of having small number of simple numerical observations at extremely high values. It will give an overestimate of. So for a skewed data set, will median ever get affected? No. Too high values, so they will go towards the end. Right? Median to middle value hoga. Median is not going to get affected. What is it going to give you an overestimate of? Again, when you calculate the mean over here, your numerator will increase because you have extremely high values. If your numerator increases, it is going to give you an overestimate of mean. Did you see a trick of words? It was just a play of words, guys, nothing else. That's how they can confuse you. You're understanding? That's how they will confuse you. Okay? Your buzzword was, you have a data set, likh diya hai, skewed. Skewed means outlier is present. Okay. Positively skewed data, you all know mean is more than median is more than mode. Skewed means outlier is present. Whenever you have outliers in a data set, which measure of central tendency gets affected? Mean. Okay, median affect hoga? No. Why? Because median is the middle value. When you arrange in ascending or descending order, median is still going to be at the center only. Clear? Everybody, thumbs up though. Did you understand this question? That's how they can trick you. Now, mode, you know, mode is one such measure of central tendency, guys, which is not affected by change in the range of data set. Okay, if the data set normal or skewed ho, it really doesn't get affected, but it's not the best. Okay, correlation kya hota hai? We will calculate correlation from a scatter diagram. Okay, modal class again is when we have a mode distribution, we try to look at that. Okay, all right, did you understand this? Chalo, ab ek aur question dungi, theek hai? Let's go to one more distribution. Now, since we are talking about skewed data set, it has outliers. So, how does it graphically look like? Positively skewed. Kaisa dikhta hai? If I don't have outliers, what is it called as? Normal distribution. How does a normal distribution graph look like? Okay, so a question for all of you. Let's see a question. This one. Okay. Mark, everybody, not true about standard normal curve. What is your answer over here? Not true about standard normal curve. Equal distribution on either side of the curve. The total area under the curve is 2. Its mean is 0. Standard deviation is 1. Now, what is this normal curve and what is this standard normal curve? Is normal curve and standard normal curve same? Okay, is it the same everybody? Is it the same everybody? So what is it? Standard normal curve and this thing, what do you mean by this? So let's revise quickly. What was normal distribution, guys? If you remember, normal distribution. Normal distribution simply means that there are no outliers. Okay, normal distribution means there are no outliers in the data set. Okay, there is absolutely no outliers in the data set. Okay, let me write it here. One second. All right. Normal distribution means there are no outliers. Okay. Let me discuss here. In fact, okay. When I say normal distribution, okay, normal distribution. Normal distribution means there are no outliers. And what do you mean by outliers? Outliers means there are no very high or there are no very low values in a data set. Okay. It's normally distributed. So how does a normal distribution curve look like? Something like this. Okay. Something like this. It's a bell-shaped curve. Okay. It's a bell-shaped curve. And look at this. Now over here, if I drop a perpendicular, okay, over here guys, if I kind of drop a perpendicular right over here, this is what POC, point of coincidence. Now in a normal distribution curve, all the three measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode, they are on the same line. Okay, MMM, mean, median, mode are all are on the same line. So at the point of coincidence, guys, what is happening? Mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Now this is the POC, point of coincidence. Now when mean is equal to median is equal to mode, we call it as a normal distribution curve. But what do you mean by a standard normal curve, guys? What is the difference between normal distribution and a standard normal distribution? See, in a normal distribution curve, mean, median, mode all are equal. Okay, it could be 100, 120, 130, whatever. But when mean equal to median equal to mode, another point of coincidence is that it is equal to 0. Okay, this means it is what? Standard normal curve. Okay, what does it mean? Standard normal curve. Clear? When mean is equal to median is equal to mode is equal to 0, it means it is standard normal curve. And look over here. 50% observations are above and 50% observations are below. So what is the total spread of data? What is the total spread of data? Spread of data is also measured by standard deviation, right? So what is the total spread of data? 0.5, 0.5. So what is the total spread of data? What is the measure of dispersion over here? Standard deviation. All right. So what is it? 0.5 plus 0.5, which is equal to 1. Please remember this. Okay. बहुत बार guys, many times they've asked in our FMGE, NEET, PG exams both, that for a normal distribution curve, how much is the mean and how much is the standard deviation? Mean is equal to 0, standard deviation is equal to 1. Clear? So what is the total area under the curve? What is the total area under the curve? Okay? What is the total area under the curve? What is the total area under curve, everybody? The total area under the curve again is equal to 1. Clear? Very good, Priyanka. Okay, everybody got it? Okay, what is the difference between normal distribution and standard normal distribution? What is the classical presentation? Mean is 0, standard deviation is equal to 1. Now, what was the question over here? Equal distribution on either side of the curve, absolutely correct. ऐसे है. So both the sides are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, it's a bilaterally symmetrical curve, bell-shaped curve. Okay, so both the sides look like mirror images of each other. Okay, it's a bell-shaped curve, mirror images. Total area under the curve is 2. Nah, total area under the curve is how much, guys? 1. Okay, and what is the mean over here? Like I said, at the point of coincidence, mean is equal to median is equal to mode. So ये कितना है? 0 है. And what is the spread of data, guys? Standard deviation, which is 1. Clear? Everybody? So not true about the total area under the curve is 2. No, the total area under the curve is 1. ठीक है? No, I just told you, no, Anupam. Once again. Normal distribution simply means mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Now, they can be any value. Mean, median, mode all could be 200. Mean, median, mode all could be 100. But when I say mean is equal to median is equal to mode is equal to 0, that is what we call as standard normal curve. Clear? Everyone, okay? And what are the 3 equations? If let me give you one more question over here. Let's deal this question. चलो इसको करो. Another thing from normal distribution, we revise normal as well as skewed distribution. Okay, can you tell me this one? A study had a normal distribution with median value as 200 and standard deviation of 20. So 68% of observation is going to lie between. What is your answer? What is your answer over here, guys? Again, just an application of normal distribution curve वाला question. Okay. Now you all know, guys, कि मान लो ये normal distribution है ना? One second. Yeah, this is a normal distribution curve. Okay. Now this is POC, point of coincidence, mean, median, mode, सब बराबर है. Now we have to drop in 3 perpendiculars. The first one over here, let's say. The second one is the pink one, let's say. You know, these lines are very close to each other in reality. अभी diagram में दूर दिख रहे हैं, but actually they are very close. And one more line is this one. Okay. So now the black line cuts on either side. Okay. Cuts the perpendicular, cuts the base at a distance of, this is what, plus 1 SD minus 1 SD. Pink one cuts it at a distance of plus 2 SD minus 2 SD. And the green one cuts it at a distance of plus 3 SD minus 3 SD. Clear, everyone? So what is the equation that you have to revise over here with me? Batao, who remembers it? Mean plus minus 1 standard deviation covers what percent of observations, guys? 68%. You no need to remember the decimal points, so you can just know that, okay, it covers 68% of observations. Okay, within mean plus minus 2 standard deviations, कितना percentage of data आता है, कितना value of observations आता है, everybody? So that is 95% observations. Okay, 95% observations. And if I say mean plus minus 3 SD. Okay, that covers how much, guys? 99% observations. Okay, that covers how much? 99% observations. Clear? That covers how much? 99% observations. Okay, everybody? Now if somebody asks you mean plus minus dash, okay, mean plus minus dash SD covers 100% observations. So what is going to be your answer over here? Now this is what? This is infinite. Okay, this is what? Infinite. Therefore if you see tails of the curve is never going to, tails over here, okay, of the curve is never touching the baseline. So here my question to you was simply a simple question which said 68% observation is going to lie between. So which equation I have to use? The first one. Now you will say कि ma'am यहाँ तो median है and you are saying mean. Yes or no? यहाँ पे it's given median and ma'am you are saying mean. But guys, for a normal distribution, what is mean equal to median equal to mode? All are same. So even if median is given as 200, you can take it as mean also, because mean, median, mode all are equal. So what will it be? 200 plus minus 1 stand, because I'm asking 68%. So 1 SD. So what is the standard deviation over here? 20. So it covers 68% observation. So 200 plus minus 20 covers 68% of observation. So that is how much? 180 to 220. Okay, covers 68% of observations. Clear, everybody? If I gave you, guys, question आता 95% observation, then which formula would you have used, guys? If the question said 95%, you would have used this formula, ठीक है? Mean plus minus 2 SD. If the question came 99%, you would have used this formula, 3 SD. Clear? Give me a thumbs up. Everyone got this question into your head? Okay? All right. No, Avantika, see, this one holds for, you have to remember, for a normal distribution curve, we will take this as mean plus minus 1 SD is 68%. Okay, mean plus minus 2 SD is 95. Mean plus minus 3 SD is 99. Okay, all right. Let's go to one more question. Try to do this one, everybody. Try to do this one. Can you read this question and try to do this one? No, these equations, Yashwant, okay, Dr. Yashwant, these equations only hold for a normal distribution curve. When the data is skewed, देखो skewed का question है, okay, you don't have these equations, okay, that we are not going to get into. But remember, it's only for a normal distribution curve we are having these equations. Mean plus minus 1 SD, 68%, mean plus minus 2 SD, 95%, mean plus minus 3 SD, 99%. Got it? Okay. Alright, it's not for a skewed observation. Okay? Alright. Chalo, let's look at this one. So, this whole thing is a story, guys, that a nutritional team followed serum levels of vitamin B12 in 120 children for 3 years to determine the association between cyanocobalt deficiency and subsequent risk of developing megaloblastic anemia. The result were as follows. Mean का value दिया हुआ है, median का value दिया हुआ है, mode का value दिया हुआ है. Now, what do you mean by this? So, you can see mean is 260, median is 226, mode is 194. That means here you know that mean is more than median. Okay, mean is more than median is more than mode. So, when mean is more than median is more than mode, which type of data it is? It is a positively skewed data, or you could also say right-sided skewness. How does the graph look like, guys? How does the graph look like? So, if you remember one thing, look over here, this one. If the direction of the tail is pointing towards the right side, okay, this is right-sided skewness, okay, or you could also say it as, you will always look at the direction of the tail, positive skewed, okay, positive skewed. I will give you one extra point over here, one extra edge question over here. If the direction of the tail is pointing towards the left side, everybody, it is what? Left-sided skewness. Okay, it is what? Left-sided skewness. Or you could also say negatively skewed. Okay, negatively skewed. Clear? Now for positively skewed data क्या होता है? Mean is more than median is more than mode. And for negatively skewed data, what it is, guys? Mean is less than median is less than mode. Okay? Alright? Okay. Now, if I ask you something, that if I draw 3 lines and ask you which is the mean, which is the median, which is the mode, will you be able to do it? What I'm asking you is that, मान लो इसमें, okay, just have a look over here like this, okay, and another data like this, okay. Now, here I'm going to draw 3 lines, okay, over here, green line, okay, in the middle I have the blue line, the black line, and one is the blue line. Now, can you tell me which one is the mean, which one is the median, and which one is the mode? Now, you all know कि normal distribution curve ऐसे होता है, ठीक है, normal distribution curve में in this one line only, in this central line only, okay, you have mean, median, mode, because they are all equal. So, mean, median, mode सारे इसी line में. Yes, everything is on the same line, ठीक है. But what about skewed data set, where which one is the mean and which one is the median? Okay, so Yashwant has written green is the mean. Green कौन सा है? The top one. Okay. Anybody else? They've never asked this. This they can ask you. Okay, so Tausif is writing black is the median. Rishabh is writing green is the mode. Okay, now see, what is median? Middle value in a data set, okay. Alright, so here also middle value. Black line, okay, in the middle, okay, whatever it is, whether it's right-sided or is it left-sided. This one, guys, is the median. Okay, now we all know that for a skewed observation, which is most affected? Mean. Okay, so this one at the lowest one, this is what? Mean. Okay, and something which is not affected by variations in a data set, least affected by variations. It's not the best, but it's least affected by variations in the data set, guys. That is something which is sitting on the top. This is what? Mode. Okay, this is least affected by variations in a data set. Okay, this is least affected by variations in a data set. So, what is this, guys? Mode. Clear? Everybody, okay, they might ask you next time this way. You all know that positive skewed, this is positive skewed, okay, this is positive skewed, okay, this you all know is negative skewed. Now, we all know positive skewed ke liye mean is more than median, more than mode, negative is less. So, over here the central line everywhere is the median, the lowest one is mean, at the top one is the mode. Thumbs up everybody, types of distribution also done, questions associated with that also done, yes? Okay, let me test you if you understood or not. Do this one quickly. As fast as possible. Can you write the answer to this? As quickly as possible. Can you write this answer to this one? In a standard normal curve, mean is equal to. In the standard normal curve, mean is equal to what? In a standard normal curve, mean is equal to standard deviation 0, less than 1 or 1. What is the answer to this? very good. Okay, mean is equal to standard normal curve. मतलब क्या हो जाएगा? What have I taught you? What did I just tell you? Okay, what did I tell you? That what is the difference between a normal curve and a standard normal curve, guys? Normal curve means, or normal distribution means, mean is equal to median is equal to mode. They can be any value. Okay, but okay, mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Okay, they can be any value. But when I say, guys, standard normal curve, okay, when I say standard normal curve, for a standard normal curve, guys, mean is equal to median is equal to mode is equal to what? 0. So in a standard normal curve, mean is equal to what, everybody? Mean is equal to 0. Clear, everyone? That's the difference between a normal curve as well as a standard normal curve. Okay? Alright, now let us also look at a few questions where I will try to explain you some of the graphs. Okay, so another topic that since we are talking about quantitative qualitative variables, थोड़ा सा graphs भी देखते हैं. Okay, alright, now look at the question. What are you going to mark over here? Let's do this and see what is your answer. A study was conducted to assess the height of students of 4th year in 10 medical colleges. The values of heights ranged between this, whatever, feet, okay. A histogram has been selected by the researcher to present these results as it is a nominal data, categorical data, both quantitative and qualitative data, continuous data, discrete numerical data. What is the buzzword over here? Histogram. Now try to remember, where do you use a histogram? Where do you use a histogram? Does a histogram have gap in between? Does a histogram have gap in between? What is the difference between a histogram and a bar diagram? Okay, so let me revise. Very good. Most of you are giving the answer correct. Now see, you just revised with me quantitative and qualitative variables. Now quantitative variables are variables that you can measure. That means they have a unit. Qualitative variables को आप measure नहीं कर सकते. Okay, they are countable. So histogram is something which is on the x-axis you have class intervals and on the y-axis you have frequencies. Okay, so maybe it is, let's say, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, something like this. Okay, this everybody is a histogram, and here you will have the frequency. Okay, frequency, whatever. So histogram is what? Is it distantly placed columns? No. Histogram is showing what? Joint columns. Okay, histogram has joint columns. Okay, please remember, joint columns means there is no gap. If there is no gap, what is the other term that you can use for it? If there is no gap, that means what it is? It is continuous. Okay, if there is no gap, that means what it is? It is continuous. Alright, so if I am using a histogram, histogram is used to represent everybody. Frequency of which variables? Frequency of continuous variables. Okay, frequency of continuous variables. So what is your answer over here? Continuous data. Nominal data, again I am talking about histogram, so I will represent a variable. I can't represent a scale of measurement. Okay, categorical data is again a scale of measurement. Both qualitative, quantitative, no. And what do you have for discrete variables? Which graph will you use? Like if I want to say frequency of gender, ठीक है, फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ जेंडर, तो आप कौन सी ग्राफ बनाओगे गाइज? सो सपोज आई हैव टू टॉक अबाउट फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स, फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स. सो व्हाट इज द स्टैटिस्टिकल ग्राफ यू आर गोइंग टू कम अप विद? फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स. एनीबॉडी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन, डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स के लिए कौन सा स्टैटिस्टिकल डायग्राम आएगा? फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स. विच वन आर यू गोइंग टू राइट ओवर हियर? वेरी गुड. फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ डिस्क्रीट वेरिएबल्स में you will draw what? You will draw bar diagram or bar chart or bar graph. Now see, discrete means qualitative, Bar is a 3-letter word. Can you see? B-A-R. Bar is a 3-letter word. Okay, 3-letter word. Gap is also a 3-letter word. So wherever you see a gap, it is what? Don't get confused. It's not histogram. It is a bar chart. So you can have something like this. How many males in the class? How many females in the class? Over here, you are going to have this variables. Over here, you're going to have the numbers. This is what? A simple bar. Okay, simple bar. In a bar, you always have a gap. Okay, but suppose I have a graph like this. Okay, I have something like this. Okay, then there is a gap, something like this. Now here I have gaps and then multiple bars. So what is this? Multiple bar. Okay, but I can also have a single column which I have divided into different bars, okay, into components. Like I can have like this, according to age also I have divided, according to something else also I have. So this is what? Component bar. Okay, this is what? Component bar. Remember one thing, bar is used to represent frequency of discrete variables. Frequency of continuous variables is what, everybody? Histogram. How will you differentiate between a histogram and bar? Bar is a 3-letter word, gap is a 3-letter word. It is distantly placed columns. They are not joint columns. Okay? So that is bar. And continuous variables are quantitative variables. So what it is? It is not distantly placed. It is joint columns. So what is that? Frequency of continuous variables is histogram. Clear, everybody? Okay, one more question. Best method to show trends of event with passage of time. What is it? Best method to show trends of event with passage of time. Can anyone tell me? Best method to show trends of event with passage of time. What is it? Now look at this over here. Trends of event with passage of time. Is it a line diagram? Is it a bar diagram? Is it a histogram? Is it a pie chart? So whenever you have to represent trends of event, guys, okay, you have to represent ट्रेंड्स ऑफ इवेंट. ट्रेंड्स ऑफ इवेंट का मतलब क्या होता है? इंसिडेंस ऑफ अ डिजीज. ओके, इंक्रीजिंग, डिक्रीजिंग. ऑलराइट, सो व्हेनेवर आई हैव टू रिप्रेजेंट ट्रेंड्स ऑफ एन इवेंट, इट मीन्स आई एम ऑल्सो रिप्रेजेंटिंग, लाइक लेट्स से एग्जाम्पल, incidence of a disease. Okay, it can increase, it can decrease. So what am I going to use over here? A line diagram, or what I can say for this, a line chart. Okay, that means you have something like this, disease बढ़ रहा है, घट रहा है, बढ़ रहा है, घट रहा है, something like that. So what is this? A line diagram. Now पाई चार्ट क्या होता है? पाई चार्ट क्या होता है? ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, ट्रेंड्स कैन इंक्रीज ऑल्सो, कैन डिक्रीज ऑल्सो. इंसिडेंस ऑफ अ डिजीज कैन इंक्रीज ऑल्सो, कैन डिक्रीज ऑल्सो. बट व्हेन आई हैव टू यूज द वर्ड frequency of, if you talk about quantitative variables, continuous variables, histogram. If you talk about frequency of qualitative variables, discrete variables, what is it, everybody? It is your bar chart. Okay, now where do you use pi? Very good. Where do you use pi? पाई कहाँ यूज करोगे? कभी भी whenever you have to express any variable in terms of percentage and proportions. Okay, whenever you have to express a data in terms of percentage and proportions, what will I use, guys? I'm going to use a pie chart. इसका बहुत अच्छा, what is the very good example of it? If I have to tell somebody about a balanced diet, okay, RDAs, okay, a balanced diet, RDAs. Now you all know that in your diet, what should be the percentage of proteins in your diet? So we all know 10 to 15% हमारी diet में प्रोटीन होने चाहिए. ठीक है, 15 to 30% फैट्स होने चाहिए. ऑफ कोर्स सैचुरेटेड फैट्स 7 to 10%. ओके, इफ आई देन आई हैव टू से carbs, so carbs maximum 50 to 70% carbs. Now if I have to tell somebody this one, what can I draw? I can draw a pie chart, because pie chart is something जो मुझे क्या दिखाता है? What does it show us? It tells us about percentages and proportions. Clear, everybody? You got it? Did you get it? Alright, so याद रखना, 3 basic diagram. One more diagram I'll take up for the day. One more diagram I'll take up for the day. I don't have the image, but I'm going to take up one more diagram for the day. Okay. Tell me, what am I drawing? ये क्या बना रही हूँ मैं? What am I drawing, guys? What have I drawn? Which diagram is it? Thank you, Medico. What diagram is this? Everybody in the comment section, I haven't yet got your answers. ये कौन सा diagram है? Which statistical diagram am I drawing? Am I drawing which statistical diagram? No, just tell me the name of this diagram. Just, I wanted to discuss this one diagram also. Just tell me the name of this diagram, guys. इसका क्या नाम है? Very good, scatter diagram. Very good, scatter diagram. Now, why am I discussing this? I want to give you a buzzword here itself. I want to give you a buzzword here itself. Okay, this is which diagram? Scatter diagram. What does scatter diagram represent? Frequency? No. What is it representing? There's a term. Please remember that term to be used as a buzzword when you solve Biostats MCQ. The term is correlation. What is it representing? Correlation. What is it? Correlation. Very good, Sangita. Very good, Ranjan. Very good, everybody. Okay, it represents what? Correlation. Correlation between what? It represents correlation between two continuous variables. क्या represent करता है? फिर से बोलो. Correlation. Repeat once again. Correlation or association. Okay, you can also use the word association between two which variables? Continuous variables. That means if the variable on the x-axis is increasing, what is happening to the variable on the y-axis? Okay, and this correlation is given by a correlation coefficient. What do you give it by? How do you express it? By a correlation coefficient. Okay, this correlation coefficient, everybody, is expressed by which letter, guys? It is expressed by the letter R. Okay, there's a small letter R. Now, another MCQ. What is the value of R? R ki value ranges between what to what? Anybody in the class? What is the value of R? So, R value ranges from -1 to 0 to, alright, -1, okay, -1 to 0 to +1. Okay, so -1 to 0 to +1. Are you understanding? It could be anywhere between -1 to 0 to +1. Alright, -1 to +1. Very good. Now see, guys, one thing more. Okay, look at the first diagram. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it no correlation? So if the variable on the x-axis increases, the variable on the y-axis increases. Let's say if weight increases, height also increases. Okay, and all the dots are on this line. Okay, this one, everybody, is not just positive. It is perfectly positive. Okay, what is it? It is perfectly positive. That means R is equal to +1. Okay, now look at this third image. If the variable on the x-axis increases, the variable on the y-axis decreases. Okay, and all the dots are on the line. So what is this, everybody? This is perfectly negative. Okay, perfectly negative. And what is the value of R over here? -1. Okay, now look at this second diagram. It's a straight line. That means whatever is happening to the variable on x, it has no association with the variable on y. इनको कोई लेना देना नहीं है. There's no association. So what is the variable? What is the value over here? 0. Okay, R is 0. No association. Now point to be noted. Point to be noted. Point to be noted. When do we say no association in a scatter diagram? We say no association or no correlation in a scatter diagram when R is 0. And when do we say no association for relative risk? You remember relative risk कौन सी study design से होता है? You know, you should compare and study. That way you will never forget. Relative risk is calculated from which study design, guys? Relative risk is calculated from a cohort study, right? And what can be the values of relative risk, everybody? More than 1, less than 1? Equal to 1. Very good, Priyanka. So when relative risk is equal to 1, no association. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? What is happening in a scatter diagram? When the correlation coefficient is equal to 0, it is no correlation or no association. Got it? Now I'm going to give you a question. Okay, just look at this. So a researcher was doing a study or some investigation, was doing a study. A researcher calculated, okay, correlation coefficient or calculated just look at this question. Okay, calculated correlation coefficient, okay, or R, all right, as 1.64. Okay, this indicates your options are, this indicates option A, positive correlation, okay, alright, option B, negative correlation, okay, like this, option C, no correlation or no association can also be written, option D, calculated wrong. What are you going to mark over here in the comment section, everybody? Calculated wrong. What will you mark over here, everybody? The researcher has got the value of R as plus 1.64. Okay, 1.64. So what is it? Now what did I just teach you? Now what will happen in exams? You will see this value and you might end up marking, oh, 1.64. That means it is positive. But what are they doing? They're trying to trick you. They're trying to trick you. What could be the possible values of R? It will always be -1 to 0 to +1. Can it ever be more than +1? Can it ever be less than -1? No. What have I given you the value as? Plus 1.64 or simply 1.64 also. That means it can never be more than 1. Can it be more than 1, everybody? No. It ranges from -1 to 0 to +1. So, kya ye more than 1 ho sakta hai? No. So, what is happening over here? The researcher has calculated wrong. Did you understand, everybody? That's how they can trick you in the MCQ. Is it clear? Did you understand this point? Okay. Okay. Alright. Chalo. Now one more last topic for the day which I'm going to do is revise with you because it's important since upcoming FMG exams are rahe hai, that turns up in that. Last NEET PG also we got a question on that. So it's a highly likely chance that test of statistical significance, okay, can get repeated in our FMG exams because in the last NEET PG they gave a question of test of statistical significance and FMG exam is round the corner. So let's understand this in another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, that's the last topic for the day. What is test of statistical significance? See, whenever we apply statistics, we need to apply certain tests to demonstrate some association. Okay, first we'll revise the topic, then look at the MCQ. It is of two types, guys. I hope you remember. There is a parametric test. Okay, there is a parametric test and there is a non-parametric test. Okay, parametric test and there is a non-parametric test. Now the first question, where do you use a parametric test? Always remember, whenever you have a quantitative variable, okay, you will always use a parametric test, okay. Whenever you have a qualitative variable, you will always use a non-parametric test, okay. And I'm sure now you can figure out quantitative variable and qualitative variable. That was the base, guys. Biostat mein first and foremost you have to know how to differentiate between quantitative and qualitative. And I'm sure now you know it. Quantitative variables means it can be measured, okay, and measured in a unit. Okay? You all need to ask yourself, does it have a unit? Yes or no. Okay? Now, quantitative variable. Parametric test mein you will always compare what? Means and SDs. Okay? For non-parametric test, what are you going to do? You are going to compare what? Percentage and proportions. Okay? Because it's for qualitative, percentage and proportions. Also remember, parametric is for normal distribution. Okay? It's always used in case of normal distribution. Non-parametric is used in case of skewed data. Okay, skewed data. Alright, last point over here, parametric is always more powerful, okay, more powerful, and non-parametric tests are less powerful, okay, less powerful. Got it? Okay? So this is one MCQ also, what all are true about parametric test except. And what are the names of the test, guys? Always remember, alphabets are associated with parametric test. Look, I'll take you to that slide, then we'll look at some MCQs. Parametric test, normal and quantitative data, it is always, to remember it, the buzzword is alphabets. It's always associated with alphabets. Non-parametric test हमेशा associated है fancy names से. ठीक है, fancy names. Alright, alphabet means over here T. T is an alphabet. A, ANOVA, Pearson's correlation coefficient. The one that you just studied, scatter diagram, Pearson. Okay, now T test may you have paired Paired is used for a single group, okay, single group. Like if I have to compare mean hemoglobin in a group of dengue patients before and after treatment. Now mean hemoglobin is quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative. So you will use a parametric test. Which one? Are you doing it for one group or two group? Mean hemoglobin in a group of dengue patients before after treatment. So in one group, paired. Okay, what is unpaired t-test? Unpaired is for two groups. Okay, like mean hemoglobin in a group of dengue, malaria patients. And what is ANOVA? More than two groups. Okay, mean hemoglobin in a group of dengue, malaria, chikungunya patients. Okay, Pearson's correlation, you just did it, scatter diagram. Now, all the tests which are there on the parametric side have friends on the non-parametric. Like if you have single group, okay, if you have single group, all right, but you have to compare percentage and proportions, okay, you will use which one? You can use a Wilcoxon sign rank, McNemar. Okay, if you have, all right, if you have two groups, okay, compare percentage proportions. The names are the fancy ones. Wilcoxon rank sum test, Mann-Whitney test, chi-square test. And when you have to compare percentages and proportions in three or more groups, three groups and more, okay, more than three groups, you will use what? Kruskal-Wallis, Friedman. Also you can use chi-square test. Okay, the one thing that you need to figure out, guys, quantitative variable hai ya qualitative variable. ठीक है? All right. Now let me just show you a few questions, okay, and then that will get you think clearly. Chalo. Tell me the answer to this one. What is the answer over here? A study to compare hemoglobin level was conducted on alcoholics, okay, before and after consumption. So what is the statistical test? Now always remember the approach. What is the approach? You have to figure out which type of variable it is. So over here you are comparing hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is quantitative or qualitative? Hemoglobin is quantitative or qualitative? You all know hemoglobin has a unit. Whenever any variable has a unit, it is which type of variable, guys? It is a quantitative variable, okay? It is a quantitative variable, okay? So hemoglobin has a unit. Now you will do it on alcoholics before and after. So you're doing it in what? You're doing it in a single group. So what will you use over here? You will use a t-test, okay? Since you're doing it in one group, okay? Paired t-test, okay? Chi-square, Mann-Whitney, fancy names, they are all unpaired, they are all qualitative variables, okay? Non-parametric. Let me give you one more test, one more example. Chalo. Appropriate statistical test to find out obesity as a risk factor in breast cancer. What is your answer over here? Obesity as a risk factor in breast cancer. Can you tell me the answer to this question? Obesity as a risk factor in breast cancer. Now look at this term, breast cancer. Always look at the outcome variable. Okay? Alright. Of course, you can get this. Yeah, you can get a question on three groups. If it is a quantitative variable, three groups is ANOVA. If it is a qualitative variable, three groups, two से ज़्यादा groups, always use a chi-square test. Okay. Now look over here. Breast cancer. Breast cancer is quantitative or qualitative, everybody? Breast cancer is qualitative. Can you express in means and SDs? No. We can always express in percentage and proportions. कोई भी disease, can you measure it in a unit? No. It's just that how many people have this disease, how many people don't have that disease. So it's a percentage or proportion, right? So it's a qualitative variable. Qualitative variable, I told you what, all the fancy names wala test, okay? Fancy names matlab non-parametric, okay? You will use which one? If you use fancy names means you will use a non-parametric. Now what are the parametric tests over here? This one and this one. Now next you have to figure out one group or two group. मैंने सिर्फ इतना पूछा है, obesity as a risk factor for breast cancer. So I just have one group of women, guys, who suffer from breast cancer. I want to know obesity is a risk factor or not in a single group. So single group में what can you use? Wilcoxon sign rank test. I didn't ask you two groups. You're understanding? I didn't ask you two groups. Suppose I'd asked you, that let's say there is a disease I want to study, SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. I want to look at what is the occurrence of SIDS during, let's say, June to July, okay, and during August to September. Now see, which test will you use? Now over here, SIDS, Alright, SIDS is qualitative variable. SIDS is qualitative variables. Okay. So when you have a qualitative variable, what are you going to use, everybody? A non-parametric test. Now do you have one group or two groups? SIDS is a disease. Okay. Now you have one group or two group. Very easily you can see I have framed two groups. 1 June to July. 1 August to September. So मेरे पास two groups हो गए. So now if I have two groups, or if I came up with one more year, one more month distribution, let's say November to December also. अब मेरे पास I have more than two groups. Okay. So whatever, whenever you have a qualitative variable in two groups or more than two groups, you will use which test, everybody? A chi-square test. Okay. But over here, you simply had one group. Breast cancer women, obese, non-obese. So we used Wilcoxon sign rank. Okay. For upcoming FMGE exams, there are high chances of you getting about t-test and chi-square test. Clear? Give me a thumbs up, everybody. One last question for the day. Let's see if you can do this. Very easy. Test used to compare two qualitative data. Batao. Qualitative. Qualitative means we have to use what? Non-parametric. Which are the parametric here? This one, this one, this one. Gone. So what is your answer over here? Okay. What is your answer over here? Chi-square test. Clear? Everybody? That's nice if you got it. Okay, see guys. Never rush. Whenever you get a question, no, you have to figure out the approach. Matlab, you can't memorize, right? You have to know the approach. And to solve test or statistical significance, because question has to come, okay? All you need to do is figure out, is it quantitative, is it qualitative? And I'm sure that you now know how to figure out whether it's quantitative or qualitative. For quantitative variable, do you have a unit? If it is yes, quantitative. Do you not have a unit? It is qualitative. For quantitative, parametric. Parametric is associated with alphabets. T-test, ANOVA. Single group, pair T-test. Two groups, unpaired T-test. ANOVA, more than two groups. Okay. And what about this side? All fancy names. If you have two and more than two groups, your answer will be mostly chi-square. If you have a single group, Wilcoxon sign rank test. Okay. Clear, everyone? Chalo. So that was it, guys. We have kind of given a look at biostats, a quick overview of this, because biostat is a very challenging topic sometimes. Don't be afraid of biostats. It's, you know, it's something which you just get the concepts, just go through this presentation once again. And if you get the concepts, no, nothing can stop you from getting your answer right in biostats. Okay? So it was a short session, but I hope you enjoyed it. And keep watching the other videos on PrepLadder, which are going to be our booster series for our rest of the subjects also. Have a very good day, guys. Don't give up on studying. Keep revising. Keep just enjoy the process. Result though nobody knows, but we have to enjoy the process to get the best outcome. Okay. Bye bye. Have a good day. See you all. Okay.